Welcome to Business with Teacher T. In this video, we're going to look at perfecting that final judgment in your business essays. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the Teacher T channel and hit that all-important notification bell so you can be informed of all future Teacher T videos. Some students struggle with ending their essays, not sure what to write. Some don't leave enough time, and at times their final paragraph to a well-balanced essay may let them down. Knowing how to complete a final judgment well can be the difference between grades. You cannot gain maximum marks on an evaluative question if your final paragraph is superficial or you don't even have one. A final judgment is not the same as a conclusion. It's not a summary, it's not a review, it's an answer to the exam question. And this video will show you how you can bring your business essay to a fantastic close with a contextualized, supported final judgment and gain those top marks. Subject to your exam board, these are some of the command words that you would see in an exam question that require a final judgment. The examiners are looking for an essay that is well balanced, well contextualized, with links to the case study. It should also show competing arguments that leads to a supported judgment, an overall decision. When answering this exam question, you'd have given a balanced view, you would have analysed and evaluated and included contextualised points, and now towards the end of your essay, you're required to write a final judgment paragraph, not a conclusion. It's a final judgment. So in this final judgment, this is where you've brought your balanced essay to an end. Not including a final judgment where required can cost you marks, and including a superficial or unsupported one can cost you marks too. So let's look at how to create that final judgment that will help you gain those top marks in your essays. We need to now move away from beginning to answer a final judgment with words such as in conclusion or in summary. You need to ensure that you've answered the question within the first sentence of your final judgment. The acronym Jizzle can aid you in writing that strong contextualized final judgment and gaining maximum marks. So let's apply it. As we know, we start off by answering the question. You could agree or disagree as long as you can justify your answer. Your justification needs to show reasoning as to why you made that choice. You could consider bringing in new information here that was not in the main body of your essay. Even though you've answered the question and justified it, you now need to show you're still able to show some critical awareness and consider that changes might occur in the business environment that may impact on your decision. So it's very important for you to bring in your it depends on. So the I is for it depends on. There are many examples of it depends on, and this very much relates to the information in the case study and the business context. It may depend on the amount of competition in the market, the budget that the business has. It might depend on the demand for the business's goods and services. There's lots of factors to consider. You need to provide a balance. Even though you've answered the question and made a decision, you're showing now that you're able to take a critical view. The S is for the short term. Could your judgment change in the short term? Or what impact would your decision have in the short term? So in the short term, it might be costly, there might be teething problems, it might impact on staff in a negative way because they might be resistant to change. However, in the long term, the business may increase revenue, it might increase staff morale, they may even gain larger market share. So these are factors that you need to consider. But I cannot stress this enough, your final judgment is not a repeat or a summary of what you've already written about in your essay. It is about you coming to an overall decision, a final judgment, and you need to make sure that you've left enough time to make this final judgment. Okay, so here are some tips on how to write a final judgment. You should answer the question directly. That should be within the first sentence. Do not sit on the fence. Answer the question. Justify your answer. Ensure you've backed up your answer. You might start off your justification with words such as, "This is the best choice because." You need to ensure that you bring an overall decision rather than repeating points from your essay. You may refer to arguments made in your essay and explain why one argument is more significant than the other one. That's one approach to take. But you still need to make sure that you come to an overall decision and do not repeat what was in the main body of your essay. You should refer to at least one aspect of MOPS. So this is not an acronym that I've come up with. MOPS stands for Market Objectives, Products or Situation. So you might refer to the market that the business is in, certain objectives that they might have, products that they sell, or the situation that they actually find themselves in. Ensure that your final judgment shows balance. And keep focused on the questions. Use some of the key words within the actual exam question because it will help you to stay focused and on track in your final judgment. Include the term "it depends on" and include short-term and long-term effects. Here's a relatively simple final judgment that was just created for the purpose of this video. The final judgment links to the Jizzle acronym that we just learnt. Exemplar exam question starts off with the command word assess, which we know means to evaluate, to look at both sides. Assess whether expanding by organic growth was the right decision for One Stop Caribbean Takeaway. Expanding by organic growth was the right decision for One Stop Caribbean Takeaway as they are able to continue to grow and open new takeaways at their own pace. This would be the best decision because expanding by organic growth will enable One Stop Caribbean to bring out new vegetarian Caribbean dishes and focus on their loyal customer base over 2 years before opening new takeaways. It is also the right decision as inorganic growth is very risky, and as One Stop Caribbean is a family-run business, they may not want to take on any additional risk. It is likely that One Stop Caribbean will be using retained profits in order to expand. However, it depends on how much the cost of the expansion would be and how much retained profits that they have towards opening up new takeaways within the London area. In the short term, this means that One Stop Caribbean would be slower to grow and grasp the opportunities offered by the food and delivery takeaway market. However, in the long term, organic growth would mean that One Stop Caribbean would have control over decisions such as the location of the new takeaways, staffing, and any change to the menus. So hopefully you can see how we can apply the Jizzle acronym to our final judgment. Thanks for watching this video. If you're liking a business vibe, then don't forget to subscribe.